Evening, welcome to the Derby Debrief from RamsTV, bringing you reaction to today's game at Pride Park Stadium. Derby have lost for the first time at home this season. The Rams led by 2-0 at the break, but lost 3-2 to Plymouth Argyle, who snatched a winner in the 89th minute of the game. We'll get reaction from James Collins, goal scorer for the Rams this afternoon, and from interim manager Liam Rossini as well, alongside former Rams skipper Shaun Barker, who we'll start with as always. It stings that, Shaun. A week ago, Derby win in the 90th minute. This week they lose in the 89th, and having been 2-0 up as well. Explain it for me, break it down for me.
Didn't do enough in the second half. Didn't do enough in the second half. It didn't perform well enough individually, collectively. We didn't manage the game well enough. We found ourselves 2-0 up at half-time, and you could see signs in the first 45 minutes that Plymouth were a good side and they would keep playing the way they wanted to play. They would get chances. We found ourselves up 2-0 up. Collins, great first goal, wonderful work with Goldrick down the right-hand side. Mendez-Lang scored a brilliant solo effort on the edge of the box, getting past 2 or 3 players. And I was really pleased with the first 45 because at times this season we've played well and not got anything at half-time, or still been at 0-0 and not got the chances. We've got them, created them, scored them, led at half-time 2-0. Now at that point you've still got the signs that this is a good side, that they will still keep doing the same things, and we never coped with that in the second 45. And ultimately the performance wasn't good enough. It let them back into the game, and defensively a couple of mistakes, a couple of bad opportunities where we've not dealt with with Plymouth well enough, and we paid the price. And
plenty more to come from Barks, but let's bring you some reaction from the Derby boss, Liam Rossini.
Promising in terms of the scoreline. I didn't think the performance was good enough in the first half. I thought, all credit to Plymouth, I thought they came here, they were fearless. I said before the game they played the same way, they played to win, and I just felt they had that extra step today, that extra bit of energy, which disappointed me because I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming with this group. It's been, up until today, a very, very good start to the season, but I think from minute 1 to minute 90 we were lethargic in our play. Couldn't really play the way that we wanted to play. We didn't have the energy, and energy is, yes, physical but also mental, to be able to take the ball and be brave and play forward, and that disappointed me as well. But we have to learn in this league really, really quickly, especially at home. This was a huge day, you know, for them. You could sense it before the game. Their fans are singing in the warm-up, and you could sense in their players what a big game it was for them. It has to be the same for us every single week. We are going to be a scalp in this league, and I just have to give Plymouth credit because they were better than us today.
How disappointed are you that your players didn't match that same sort of energy?
Yeah, I didn't. That's the one thing. Regardless of result or performance with the ball, they won pretty much 90% of second balls in midfield. The ball was bouncing their way, but the ball was bouncing their way because they had more energy in their legs, they just have more enthusiasm to their game, and that's something that we've prided ourselves on. This is the first time where I can honestly say this season that a team has deserved to walk away with 3 points, and now we've got to go away, we've got to analyse, we've got to get better and make sure that we're ready to come back next Saturday and put in a much better performance than that.
Did the scoreline at half-time almost make it difficult for you to get the message across that you needed them to be better?
I was worried. We've spoken a lot about sensing the press. Teams have come and they see the way we play and they wanted to press us, and the first minute we spoke about before the game, see them, if they're pressing, play behind them because the space was there, and we didn't, and we gave away a chance in the first 2 or 3 minutes, and after that we know we've got quality players. We've brought quality players into the building. So the 2 goals, David McGoldrick's pass for James Collins, great finish and delight for him to get off the mark. Nat's goal's brilliant, but at the same time I was wary and nervous because our overall performance wasn't there today, and Plymouth kept on from that first half performance and deservedly got the 3 points.
You mentioned the opening goal, James Collins off the mark. Looking big picture, how important is that for the season?
Yeah, it's great for him. All strikers want to score goals, and James has worked really, really hard in this period to put us in the position that we're at. I've not got any doubts about his quality in front of goal, and he took his goal extremely well, and Nat did the same thing. But what I said to the players at half-time, we have to up our levels of performance, and 2-0 we've been here. Barnsley at home, we were 2-0 up at half-time. You know, you can't be complacent. You've got to see the game out, and mistakes happen in football. I'm not worried about Aaron Cashin. He's a young centre-half who's been magnificent for us, by the way. Making a mistake I'm more annoyed and upset with the overall performance and the lack of energy we had in the team, and that's something I'll rectify moving forwards.
You gave Will Asula a debut. What are you expecting from him on loan?
Yeah, I think he showed, and he was really unlucky actually. He's so strong and quick and aggressive, and the referee gave a free kick against him. He's through on goal. It's not a free kick, it's just his strength, and he's going to take a lot of working on the training pitch and coaching to get used to the way that we play. But I think everyone can see his energy, his enthusiasm, his pace, and he's going to be a real asset to us moving forward.
That's Liam Rossini talking to RamsTV after Derby's first home defeat of the season. They've lost 3-2 here at Pride Park Stadium to Plymouth Argyle this afternoon. They are up to third in the table. Derby dropped to ninth. We'll take you through all the results from League One and the table in full shortly. You'll hear from James Collins, the goal scorer, as well. And let's start there, Shaun. Start with the good, if you like, before we get to the bad of the second half, because he's been waiting for that goal. 12 games without a goal for him. If you go back to Cardiff last season, he's looked frustrated in previous matches, and you saw the relief when he got the goal today.
Yeah, there was pure relief. He's waited patiently, he's worked tirelessly, he's shown that he's more than just a goal scorer. But strikers want to score goals, and he's been known of scoring goals in the past, so he'll be desperate to get his first goal. He'd be delighted he's got it today, and it was a wonderful finish as well, because in those moments where you're lacking maybe confidence or you're struggling to get a goal, you can maybe miss that opportunity, but he showed that kind of class and quality when the keeper comes out just to dink it over him, to get enough on the ball to get his first goal for the club. So hopefully that's one of many.
We saw the quality from Nathaniel Mendez-Lang for Derby's second, not just from him actually, because the move before was impressive, but the way he bullied past the two defenders and finished was very impressive. It
was. Mendez-Lang was a real handful in the first 45 minutes. We're used to seeing him almost on the touchline, 1v1s against defenders, trying to get crosses in, trying to drive him behind, but he actually found himself inside the pitch. Great little step over, and as soon as he saw the gap between the two defenders, I loved that he just took it. He knocked the ball, bullied past two defenders, got into the box and finished well, and that was at the end of a really positive move. And you get yourself 2-0 up at half time, you've seen that they're a good team, you've seen they're a threat. I don't think it could be any more positive after the first 45 minutes. It's how you react to that, how you deal with that, knowing that Plymouth are going to come out in the second half strong.
And we both said at half time that Plymouth weren't out of it, and they did play well first half, and they had more possession than Derby first half as well, and I don't think we'll say that often at Pride Park this season. And I will probably get pelters in the comments for saying this, but Morgan Whittaker impressed me all afternoon, and he got his goal to start the comeback. And at that point, I think we all were a little bit worried.
It's the best game I've seen him play. I've seen him play for Derby, Swansea, and obviously here today. They play the 3-4-3 really well. You can see that the players are well drilled. Your centre forward keeps stretching the pitch. Your two kind of wide players will come inside in 10 positions, and that's where he was finding that little joy inside right between Cash and the midfield, being able to turn, being able to drive forward. He got in probably 3 or 4 good opportunities in that first half, so the signs were there. He just needed that little bit of luck where I think it came off Cash's leg, back heel, and fell into his path, and he scored the goal. Now as soon as it gets to 2-1, it's don't panic, work out kind of how to stop them in their play and in their build, and trying to kind of work your strengths against theirs, and we really struggled. We struggled with the gaps between. I thought the manager picked up on it there, Liam. He says that the second balls, we weren't good enough. We weren't. They landed on every second ball in that second half, which meant that even though they had good possession, good play, every time we got a foot to it or we stepped in, they landed on that second, and that's where that pressure builds and builds and builds. The disappointing thing was to concede 2 goals like we did. A little bit naive defensively, and they took those chances when they came.
Yeah, what a debut for Sam Cosgrove. And as you say, the third one hurts particularly because Aaron Cashin has been so good for Derby since he came into the side last season, really, and 99 times out of 100 his touch is immaculate, and Derby had possession and controlled the ball, but the one time it lets him down, Cosgrove is in and scores the winner.
Well, that's probably the inexperience of himself compared to a Stearman or a Davis or a Chester. 89th minute, you see that the impetus is with Plymouth. You see that you maybe just take a point. You're not played great. 9 times out of 10, like you said, he will bring that down. We've seen him do it time and time again. He's been faultless this season. He's been absolutely faultless. He's been immense. Older than his age in terms of the understanding of the game. He's made a mistake. He should take that responsibility, accept it, and learn from it.
Players make mistakes, don't they?
Of course they do, and there's nothing wrong with him knowing it. because that's part of your experience. It's learning not to do it again in those times, or maybe making a better decision, or where your touch takes you. You only get better by making mistakes and being criticised and being picked out. Now, I think the vast majority of the fans won't, because of what he's offered so far and because how good he's been. I think collectively, as a group, as a team, as staff, we didn't do enough today, and I think the better team won. And I have to say they're the best team we've had at Pride Park.
Yeah, Plymouth very impressive this afternoon. Let's get some more reaction from the Derby camp. We can hear from James Collins.
Yeah, deflated. I think, real disappointment throughout. I think from start to finish we weren't at our best today, and fair play to Plymouth. They come and they were better than us. So we've got to swallow it, and we've got to make sure we're ready to go next week.
Were you almost a bit surprised to be 2-0 up at half time?
I wouldn't say surprised. I think we had chances in the first half, but as did they, and I think going in at 2-0 probably did flatter us a little bit, but I wouldn't say we were surprised, because I think our chances were better than theirs. I think maybe that's what cost us. We thought 2-0 up will be safe, but fair play to Plymouth. They were better than us in the second half and managed to nick the win.
What was the mood like at full time as you came on?
Yeah, it's never nice. It's horrible. I think we know we weren't great today as a team, but I think when you're 2-0 up, even when you're not playing great, you still back yourself to see the game out and get a win, because you're not going to play well every week. And the top sides, the ones that generally get promoted, are the ones that when they're not playing well, they still see it out. And unfortunately for us today, we couldn't quite do that.
And it's amazing how cruel, I guess, football can be. A week ago, you got the late goals and snatched the win, and this week it's the other way around.
Exactly. And last week we were like Plymouth today in their dressing room. We were jumping about and high-fiving each other and music on, and that's the ups and downs of football. Great win last week, but this week we were cruising, but we were 2-0 up, and unfortunately today we've got that sickening feeling. But we got to dust ourselves down. We've got a week now to prepare. It's probably a good thing there's no game Tuesday. We've got a week now to let things settle down, and we've got 2 tough away games.
On a personal note, your first Derby County goal, you took it well, you look relieved. Was that how you felt? Yeah, so relieved. It's been a long time coming. I've had numerous chances to get off the mark, and for whatever reason it's not quite happened, but you just got to, as a striker, sometimes it happens to you, and you just got to get through it, keep getting yourselves in the right areas, and thankfully Didzy today put it on the plate for me. On a personal note, delighted to get off the mark, and I want to kick on now, but it feels like it don't really mean a lot now after the result. I'd rather the 3 points, but that's life. That's James Collins. Here are all the results from League One this afternoon. A full programme of fixtures in the third tier today. Victories for the top 2. Ipswich winning at Accrington, who lose for the first time this season. Portsmouth got a victory over Peterborough despite going behind just 5 minutes into Jack Marriott's goal. Wins as well for Bolton, for Cambridge United, for Exeter, for Shrewsbury away at Forest Green, and for Barnsley at Hillsborough in the Yorkshire Derby. And a defeat for Burton Albion. The pressure really on Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank now. Here's the top half of the League One table. Ipswich and Portsmouth continue to stride clear. Plymouth up to 3rd after their victory. Derby were 3rd at half-time. Instead, the Rams slipped to 9th in the table. A few teams with them on 11 points from the first 7 games. At the other end, Burton in real trouble already, just 7 games in, 1 point from their opening 7 fixtures. Derby face Morecambe and Lincoln in their next couple of games, 2 of the bottom 5. That's all from us for now. If you want more reaction, it's on the website dcfc.co.uk. We're back with you next weekend. For now, from me, Barks, and the team, goodbye.